What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Shonen Hoops Pod. It's your two co-hosts, Omar and Andy.
So
Let's talk Wano. Finally,
finally made it to Wano and finally ended Wano, bro.
yes.
This is at this point a year in the making. Freaking grinding this out.
It's been a fun ride. I am caught up to anime version of Egghead, but we will not be talking about that. We are going to wait. We will see you in a year after this video is posted to talk about Egghead.
Yeah.
But for now, let's talk about Wano. Of course, as always for these One Piece videos, spoiler warnings.
Yes.
People that are not caught up yet. Okay, so last time we left off talking about Wano, we did predictions.
Correct. Yeah.
Now, these were my Wano predictions based on what I had super memory, thought One Piece was gonna do, and the first part of Wano.
Yeah. So as if you guys hadn't seen it, the first part of Wano we did basically he was just up to when Luffy went to prison. When he went to the prison. So that's as far as he was, and he gave his predictions. And now we're gonna hear how correct or how wrong he was. Omar has a little list of what he said was gonna happen or what he predicted. And honestly, from what I can remember of the video, he had some good points. But we'll see how actually knowledgeable he is in this One Piece. If he can get into Oda's head.
Yes. Okay, so I said Luffy would face Lucci in Wano. Now, I was right, but I was wrong on the timing. Did not happen in Wano. It eventually did happen.
Okay, it did happen.
So, and then you proceeded to ask me who would be the main characters in this arc, not including Luffy.
Yes.
I said Jinbei,
Okay.
Zoro, Robin, and Chopper. Now, each of the Strats had their moments. I was, other than Zoro, I would say I was incorrect.
Okay, I'll agree. I think I'll give you the leeway that they all had cold moments, but none of them felt like they had. I'll admit though,
Maybe Chopper.
Yeah, but the thing is, this real here, it would have been a better Chopper story if he actually cured. So a lot of people were really mad that like Chopper didn't try to cure all of the people that ate smiles. Because but maybe that gives more leeway for people to be like,
it's a devil fruit. Though. It's a devil. You can't. At the end of the day, it is a devil fruit.
Yeah. But who knows? Maybe like you said. So don't want to get too ahead of it. So I'll agree that it was kind of Zoro's arc, but not in the way that everybody wanted it to be. Everybody thought it was going to be kind of like Sanji and Whole Cake, where it was like new backstory, very very talking about him. But this was more just like finding more and more about like Zoro's not origins, but just about like why he is the way he is and stuff like that.
Zoro, it was this arc. Like, of course, I didn't think Zoro would like be the face of Wano, considering this was like the climax of this saga. But this arc did confirm Zoro is second in command. Right hand man. Sanji is not. Anywho. Also, we'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Matchups. You asked me who each major pirate group has three main subordinates. Kaido had Queen, Jack, and King.
Yeah.
Oh boy. I said Sanji, Robin, and Jinbei. I went 1 for 3.
Yeah. You were right. You were 100% like hit one of them.
Jinbei had an important fight. Because he was like talking about the slave. He was talking about Joe Boy, essentially.
Yeah, that's down the line when we get to the to the actual.
But that was Jinbei's big fight. Robin
one shot at the guy.
Did not have
Hey,
not.
She beat Toby Ropo, bro. That's something.
That's fine. Did not take down one of the three elites. Anywho, you then proceeded to ask me who would be fighting Big Mom? I proceeded to say Kid, Law, and Zoro.
Bro, you
I
had
was-
it.
I went. I had Kid and Law were right. Zoro did not partake in
Yeah,
that fight.
you were. I'm telling you, you had some close moments where you're like, damn, all right.
And then you asked me, do I think anybody's gonna die in Wano? I said Kanjuro. I'm happy that bastard died. I'm gonna leave it there.
Yo, what's the switch?
Fuck Kanjuro, okay? That bastard, I'm happy he's dead. Rest in peace to the other two.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, people. I told you though, people died in Wano. A lot of people kind of died, surprisingly.
I'm very surprised, but Kanjuro, I'm glad he's dead.
Yeah.
Anywho.
All right, so those were all the predictions, or did I have more?
No, we had more.
Okay.
You proceeded to ask me, what are some twists I expected of Wano? I said Wano would open. Wano, in fact, did not open.
Hey man.
But I did say though the Navy would attack, and I was correct.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was wrong that I did not expect Shanks to pop, but cool. You asked if I had any theories. I said Kuma would get rescued, Akichi would have an appearance, and Vegapunk would make his first appearance. All of them are wrong in terms of in the timing of Wano.
Yes, but I would say you had it on the nail on the head. After Wano stuff. So
Yes.
You had the answers at the wrong time.
Yes. You asked me about bounties. I don't know why I thought bounties would stay the same. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I don't know why you thought he wouldn't go up after beating an emperor, but that was all you.
Poor Chopper, whose bounty is only 1,000.
Hey, bro, he went up like $900.
Crazy. But I was right. Luffy did in fact become an emperor at this time. Zoro, I was right that he became the second highest. And then you asked me about power-ups. Of course, you knew.
Yeah. The hardest kept secret.
Yes.
That was
Gear 5. But I was right. Zoro did in fact get a new sword.
Yeah.
And Nami did get the baton. But I did not know she was actually going to keep Zeus. For that, love Zeus. And those were the predictions we went through that we predicted for Wano.
Yeah, and honestly, like I said, you honestly were not far off. Like you had a lot of good points. You just obviously you know Oda well enough. You're getting there. You know, after reading and watching One Piece, you're getting there. So now we go on to what I think is the more important part. So I kind of want to, not to make this exaggerating on, but I want to get to the point of what I think is the most important of right at the Red Scabbards waiting for the boats. I don't think there's anything that great in between because it's just kind of like training.
Hey. There's one very important thing.
Go ahead. Alright, okay.
Alright, so yes, let's talk about it. Yes, they are at the port waiting, and Kinemon is like on it crying, is saying, where's everyone? What could have happened? I don't understand. Where are these ships? And then like it broke me. I'm not gonna I was so hyped for it, and then like as that scene is like, take this 15 episode backstory.
Yeah.
Yes, and the Odin backstory is fantastic. I loved it. We saw a lot more of the Whitebeard crew, of the Roger crew.
Yeah.
We saw Buggy and Shanks, and as kids, and it was great. We saw Teach as a kid. All of the backstory was amazing, very lovely, but the timing. Anywho,
at least from when I was watching, I felt like the timing was pretty decent because it wasn't. Yes. It was better than what they usually do.
Yeah, so I would say now knowing how long that Onigashima actually was, yes, I don't have a problem with the time. But while watching it,
Yeah,
I was just ready.
yeah. It feels like like kind of like throwing a wet towel on someone because you're like, all right, we're going. Something's wrong with the boats, and hey, welcome to Odin's backstory.
And because for me that was like 2 days.
Yeah, no, yeah.
For you, that was like what, 3 months?
13 weeks, yeah, around 3 months.
Crazy. But yes, so we get back to the port, and they said, you know what? We said, we don't care. We can't wait. We have no other chance. They know we're traitors. We have to go try to kill Kaido now. And they get into the water. And then it's revealed. Conjo's is a backstabbing bastard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was so mad. I don't understand how. I don't like. This is the beautiful thing about One Piece. The villains are such villains.
Yeah. You hate him.
Absolutely hate them. But yes, so then you start, and then little by little, the Straw Hats appear. Then the Corazon Pirates.
Heart Pirates, yeah, the Heart Pirates.
The Heart Pirates, the Kid Pirates, and then them three start to attack the ships that came to attack the samurai. And then all the ships that thought were disappeared. And it's like it's like the little things are the reason I love One Piece. It's like, yo, Kanjuro thought he knew Kinemon, he had this plan, and they were like, yo, Riser was looking like Kinemon was like, yo, you have such a great plan. You even had to lie to your own friends to have the real plan set. Everyone knew this. They came from the other direction. You see Kinemon's face like, what plan?
Yeah.
That wasn't my plan. And it was like, yeah, that was my plan. I love that moment. It was great. And then you go, and then they take the fight, and it's like some of the hardest scenes in one. The budget went up. The budget. The animation is beautiful from this moment on.
Yeah.
And they finally get to the island. Unless I'm missing it.
There was the scene that like it's kind of the same thing as they're making their way to Onigashima, and then Jinbei, the person you've been waiting for, finally shows up, and then they're like, "Oh, let's throw a party," but the second they're about to say, "Oh, cheers," all the samurai are like, "Thank you for opening the way, Straw Hats. We'll take it from here." Charge on, following Odin's steps, and then it has one of my favorite scenes where it's Luffy being like, "Hey guys, let's not do this now, but let's throw the biggest party when everything's over. Is that all right with you guys, my crew?" And not one single crew member, obviously, they were all like, "That's just who you are. We're always gonna be down." And boom, they put all the freaking mugs down together. And for me, that hits different because it just shows how solidarity, the whole, like, they're basically just a family, and it's just
it's beautiful. And it's like, I've seen a lot of like people that take shots at One Piece have like either never seen it, or and I've seen a lot of them be like, "Oh, those aren't really pirates, they're just people on a boat." When it's like, no, because like everyone's view on what a pirate is different. Luffy's crew isn't about power or treasure. Like, yes, there's certain characters like Nami loves treasure, but it's like Luffy's aim is to be, his kind of pirate is being the freest person. And he said this multiple times. That's his version of pirate, and that's on the course he's on.
And then from there, then we do go to Onigashima. Stop me if you see anything that's like interesting. So they get to Onigashima. Obviously, the Straw Hats get into hijinks, and there's this big plan. But then Luffy and Zoro just go into the party. The animal pirates are just kind of like throwing away food, and Luffy's are like, "Oh my!" Like they're pissed because they saw the people starving in Wano, so they start beating everybody up. And then it gets to the point where I think the 9 Scabbards finally get on the island, and they have like a really cool scene that's like black and white where they're gonna full charge onto Kaido. They all jump on him, and then they jump on him. Because at that time Momonosuke was being not sacrificed, but he was gonna be executed. And then that's when we get like the second time where Black Leg Sanji comes in his raid suit, and he saves him. And then you think, oh, is this gonna be a king versus Sanji, because they're not like, they're kind of fighting early on. And then eventually, I think after all that happens, the Kaido takes all the 9 scabbards up, and then it's 9 scabbards versus Kaido for like a long time, and things are just going terrible for the red scabbards. I forget her name. Kiku, I think that's her name. Gets her arm cut off by the freaking wind slash, and it just like things get so much more real at this point, where it's just like people are suffering damage. It's no longer like, I got hit and it's like, the bruise is gonna be gone. It was like, no, we're seeing people get dismembered, and it kind of brings realization that like this is an all-out war. And then they kind of like it kind of goes slow a bit, and then it gets to the point where Queen starts shooting his allies with this like frozen zombie bullets. Zoro has this really cool moment where he hits the lion sword strike on Apu to get the medicine that he gives to Chopper. If you remember that scene.
Yes.
And then basically fast forwarding through all the they also introduced the Tobi Roppo. During the beginning, they also introduced people's big favorite character, which is Yamato.
Yes.
So yeah, Yamato is just top tier. She's a giantess, and she, that's, I can't say this what I want to say on YouTube, but keep going on. We get introduced to the Roppo, more characters, and then this big moment happens where you're like, oh my god, the Big Mom Pirates are about to jump in this fight, and you're like, oh man, the Big Mom Pirates, like they're gonna get involved now. It's gonna be a 3-way war because they don't fuck with Kaido. And then out of nowhere, you see the big man himself, Marco, tell him, You ain't in this fight, buckos, and flings the whole boat off of the waterfall. So you're like, okay, so now we know Nekomamushi and Marco have made it, so now all the players of like Luffy's side have joined. And then we get to the #1 favorite episode of all One Piece fans, which was episode 1015. So there's a whole point, which is when Luffy and Zoro finally make it to the top of the dome. And I'm gonna let Omar give his experience of seeing that whole, just the whole culmination of the build-up of what Wano was going to be in that one episode that I think they did masterfully. And even till now, I'll be shedding tears and get teary-eyed because how amazing and how much you can see the love of the people who animated One Piece and have seen it throughout their lives into that 10-minute mark. So, Omar, what did you think about that?
Yeah, so I do want to say 2 things, right? That like budget they had for the party, it looked like a 2010 Vivo music video.
Yeah.
Yes. So at this point, Big Mom, it was announced Big Mom has partnered up with the Animal Pirates.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, Pero is also on the island.
Yes.
As well, the only member of the Big Mom Pirates to get up there. So now we get to the point 10:15, and it's like it's the iconic scene. Luffy walks by them, and it's so cold. It's like he walks by them because he's like, I'm not paying attention to you right now. I'm walking towards my friend because the 9 samurai were defeated.
Yeah.
After a long, hard fought battle, they were defeated. And Luffy goes to Kikimon, is like apologizing. Sorry, I failed. And Luffy says, "My friend, don't worry, we are friends. I'm going to open up Wano." Yeah. And this like next 2-minute mark of like is like the peak fiction. It's like the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Kaido goes to attack. I believe Kaido goes to attack.
Yeah. He
and Luffy like comes. He goes, and all of a sudden, Luffy on command, Law downstairs, and like without saying nothing, Law does his room shamble, like without saying a word, downstairs, misses, and Luffy's. I'm getting goosebumps right now, and it's like Luffy says, I said, my name is, I am Luffy, Monkey D. Luffy. I am going to be king of the pirates. Red Hawk, the OG opening plays, and it is the greatest, one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, it's for me. It's the whole, like it's the whole thing where he's like you said, ignoring the emperors, goes to Kinemon, and then the thing is like it's Kinemon crying, coughing up blood, and he's like Luffy, I'm sorry, can you carry like on your back? Can you carry Wano? And before he can even say please, Luffy's like cuts him off, says, of course, because you're my friend. Like I need people will never understand how ride or die Luffy is until you start watching One Piece, guys. Like just watch it, and then as he's saying all that crazy stuff, commands Law saying send them down. He jumps in the air, dodges Kaido's attack, but before the attack even hits, you just get like the scenes from Luffy's point of view of everything that's happened, up from freaking Zou, of when Momonosuke cried saying that he wants to defeat Kaido, and then the satisfying hit when Luffy finally hits Kaido, and it actually he takes damage. We have not seen that the whole entire time we've been in Wano. To the point where Big Mom's like, what are you doing, Kaido? You're not gonna tell me that scrawny punch just knocked you down.
Kaido, you really knocked over it,
bro.
And then Law is very serious, saying, hey, I need to talk to you, and in a still serious tone. Then it cuts away.
Yeah, dude.
And then in One Piece fashion, when it cuts back to it, it's the comic relief again.
Yeah.
It was like, you're like, you bastard, don't tell me what to do, because then it looks like I'm your subordinate.
Bro, One Piece is it's so great because it can go from something that fascinatingly beautiful and like intense to like kid going, nah, that's how it should be because you are his bitch. Like yo, kid, let's calm down, bro. His emperor is right now. It's so good, dude.
It's great. I'm gonna go watch 10:15 after we're done recording this.
So then we go on. I know there's some really good parts, so I'll try to get your reaction. So then we go to scenes of the three captains plus Zoro and Killer fighting Big Mom and Kaido. They're doing all these crazy moves on him, and then it gets to the point. I think from like all of
this is when because to me my biggest break with One Piece has been, yes, the timing of backstory, but the second has been the amount of times Luffy loses. I'm cool with Luffy losing here and there. I'm cool. I don't have a problem with an Alabasta when Crocodile cooked them a couple of times.
Twice.
But when I was watching, it felt to me like Luffy died 2-3 times and lost 9. But of course it wasn't that much, but to me I was like, and this was the first time it happened.
Yeah.
Luffy was like, let his guard down. And this was also the moment Zoro to me became like second in command. I don't care what Sanji and Jinbei do. Where he took the head attack of Kaido and Big Mom together and lived, and then proceeded to use his 18 sword style? 9 sword style. It was bonkers. Yeah. Insane.
And then that's when we get the hints also that like Zoro has conquerors because he
yes, Zoro. This is when Zoro has conquerors hockey, and it's like, okay, second in command, Luffy's first fall.
Yeah.
Cool. It was because Gear 4 ran out, I believe.
Yeah. He gave it all out and then he ran out of energy.
Yes. So then we move on. And then the fight continues. I believe Zoro gets sent downstairs at this moment because he's on the verge of death after taking that hit.
Yep. And then it gets to the point. So we can fast forward a little bit. So then it gets to the point where like they also manage to get Big Mom to fall, Law and Kid. So they kind of like chase her going down, and then
along with Killer.
Killer also goes down. So it's kind of just at the top of the dome. It's Kaido v Luffy 1v1. And then we go down and look at all the fights that are happening actually inside the dome. So I don't know if you want to talk about any specific fights or like at least the 1v1s that happened.
Yeah, so Sanji was supposed to be going upstairs, right? And here we go. I thought we learned our lesson at Whole Cake. I thought we did. Unfortunately, we did not. Sanji gets captured by a female spider because he's a naughty boy. And he gets tortured, beat to a pulp, and Sanji doesn't know how to feel if this is heaven for him or hell. Crazy.
Yeah, a lot of episodes of him just being like, I can't use armament hockey because I don't want to hurt her. Hey man, Sanji's a better man than me because he just takes it to a new level of
Sanji decided not to use armor hockey because he was enjoying. Yeah. Anyways,
so
this is how we break into the fights now. Mm-hmm. She says, she asks if you want to survive, call Nico Robin. And not because Sanji is scared for his life, but because he trusts in Robin. Does indeed call for Robin and Brooke. Brooke follows Robin in.
Yep.
So we have that fight. So how do you want to talk? Do you want to talk about her fight or what that causes down on the other side?
We can start with her fight and then we'll go with like each other person's fight.
Okay. Yeah. So yes, Brooke really didn't have a major fight here, which I'm okay with because he did a lot through the whole cake.
Yeah, he did. Bro.
Yes.
MVP.
So here, Robin reveals she has a new demon form.
Yeah.
Where she creates a second body and it goes absolutely insane. She is able to create a whole different person, but it hits that second person hits, she gets on her real body.
Yeah.
But eventually she does end up being this. It was a great, and Brooke was able to split the fight in half. And even though someone was like, Robin was like screaming in pain, Brooke is like, damn, looks like y'all are cooked. And that was that fight.
Yep.
And I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it was really crazy seeing Robin being like, you know what, I've been like denying this, but if it means that I can make my friends safe, I don't mind becoming the devil that everybody expects me to be. And then she goes new form and everything. It's kind of crazy because for people who watch, you're like, all right, is this an awakening or is this just a thing she can do now? You're like, because it's like, how does it's interesting stuff to know because you want to know how did she even do it. But we'll figure this out as we continue going.
So, also slightly revealed that she was working on this during the time skip with Kaola and Sabo. And which technique was more suited for her fighting style. So yeah, that was a nice to see that she finally let this up because she wanted to protect her friends.
Yes, yeah, that's very true. And then, so I guess from there we can kind of go with the second little we can go with Frankie versus, I don't even remember the names of the Triceratops.
Neither do I. But yes, Frankie uses his robot to fend off a lot of the numbers and the gifters. So yeah, so that's where they keep him and Usopp for a long while. And Chopper. Before now, Zoro's badly beaten.
Yes.
And they wrap up. Sanji finds Zoro after escaping, and they wrap up Zoro, and they find Chopper, and Chopper's like, okay, keep him still. I'll take watch over him. And then the minks tell, yo, we have this special medicine, but he's gonna be completely fine for a little bit. But after that, it's gonna be double worse the pain.
Yes. Yep. And then so that happens to Zoro. Then Zoro wakes up. Marco. So Marco at this point is holding off King and Queen at the same time. And so he's like, all right, I'm exhausted. Hits the quota sign where it's like, it's time for the All-Stars to take in. And then Zoro and Sanji boost out of there and start boxing it out with King and Queen. At this point, all the Toby Ropo fights are kind of ending, which was Frankie beating the Triceratops. We had Big Mom defeating Page 1 because at this point it's revealed that, what's her name?
Otama
had infiltrated and had her own plan, which was basically feed her dumplings to all the animal pirates that had eaten the successful smile fruits, which her devil fruit works on. So like she kind of controlled all of them. And like I guess I think page 1 hits Otama. Big Mom's like, wow, you piece of garbage. Completely like knocks him out with like not even. I think she uses like the new form of like the blade beam. And then Nami finishes off Ulti with the help of Zeus with the clan attacked. So honestly, I will say Usopp didn't really have anything crazy happen. He hasn't had anything good happen in quite a bit. So you know that's not here or there. And then we have Jinbei, which I think you did mention.
Yes, his fight was like the starting points of like Joy Boy and like what this legendary hero was about slavery, and anyone that actually knew about the slavery got killed, even guards included that worked for the Navy.
Yeah.
And that was just like a little teaser of what the Void could be.
Yep.
And then we get to the point where Big Mom at this point has abandoned Zeus.
Correct. Yes, because she then makes Hera.
Yes.
But before we get into that, I almost forgot about your favorite character when he gets beheaded by Kaido.
Yes. Oh man, I hate him so much I forgot his name. I'm blanking.
Dude.
Orochi, there it is. Damn. Yeah, so guess what? At the beginning of the final battle, Orochi dies. Very easily by the hands of Kaido. Just to keep that in there real quick. So then we move forward.
Oh no, wait, so sorry.
Yamato
meets
go. Luffy. Yamato at this point
had already met Luffy. Yeah.
Had met Luffy, and Yamato is now looking for Momonosuke, who's with the ninja.
The ninja girl. I will think of the name in a bit.
Okay, but she is at this point working with them to hide Momonosuke for now. Mm-hmm. And Big Mom at this point, I believe, starts to fight Kid in Law. Well, Nami escapes.
Shinobu's the name.
Shinobu, yes. Yeah. They're with Shinobu now. And Kid and Law are fighting Big Mom. And Nami has not joined the rest of the stride. Meanwhile, Luffy is fighting Kaido.
Yeah.
Luffy dies.
Oh yeah, yes, you're right. Because Luffy does get beat. Like, so as all the fights have gone with the Toby Ropo, we also did real quick mention. I think at this point, so Kanjuro also dies like 2 times, I believe, because he dies to Kiku first, and then all the Red Scabbards are kind of like, after they get sent down, they're like, oh, we're picking ourselves back up, and then out of nowhere, like Odin pops up and it's like, oh guys, I was actually not dead, and then it turns out it's like, wait, that's not Odin, that's Kanjuro again, which is when we have, I believe, Ashura do the noble sacrifice of taking Odin, which is actually Kanjuro, because he had a bomb on him, and then throws him outside the window, and that's where Ashura dies. Which Omar did not believe he actually passed.
Rest in peace, Ashura.
So
again, and this is what reveals Orochi dead.
Yeah.
Quite crazy, alive, and commands Kanjuro, like, use your final life, and there's bombs at the bottom of the island, and send this island to hell.
Yeah.
Because Kaido announces that Ogishima was going to become the new capital of Wano and crush the current capital.
Yes. So at this point, it's like there was a split, and Kaido and Orochi were now like enemies, basically. But I think so. Yeah, that all happens. But actually, I believe that after Kaido cuts his head off, I think Kinemon then cuts off Orochi's head or something like that.
Yes.
So we're like, okay, well, there was a fake out death, but now he's been killed by Kinemon this time. Like, this guy's gone for real. And it's like, nope, he's back again, and he's telling, and like he said, like Omar just said, oh, Kanjuro, hey, turn into some big lava thing and go blow everything up that's downstairs. And Kanjuro's like, yeah, I got you, I'm gonna do it. With like, cause he's at this point he also got caught up by Kinemon, so he was already dying. And Omar and me were thinking about, we're like, how does it work? But I assume it's just like he used all his energy and put his soul into his drawing, which is why the drawing was able to exist. So as everything like that's going, Luffy's falling down. He's falling from Onigashima. He's completely about like he's not on the island or the skull at all.
He fell to the water.
Yeah, he falls into the water, and at that point it's Yamato versus Kaido, and then we get some background. We get some backstory of like Yamato's past and like how he knew.
And here's Ace.
Yeah,
look at good old Ace. Ace is in Wano. And I'm like annoyed. Like, man, it would be nice to have Ace in this battle in real life. That he's dead.
Yeah, I mean,
anyway, at this point where Luffy, while dying, can talk to Momonosuke and says, "I'm still alive. Don't give up."
Yeah.
And Momonosuke, with Shinobu's power, grew 13 years.
No, 20 years.
20 years.
Because I think he's 28.
To be the age of Odin, and now he's able to turn into the same. The failed fruit is now. I'm not gonna say the same capable powers of Kaido, but like now he's the grown dragon.
Well, no, he is. He becomes the perfect copy of Kaido. Except
I wouldn't say he's as strong as Kaido.
Well, that's only because Kaido had 30 years to learn his fruits.
Yeah.
Well, but so the whole point of that is, Omar, is the first time freaking Momonosuke eats the fruit. The reason why that smile specifically was like guarded in Punk Hazard was because it was
the color.
Yes, but remember where they were. They were in a factory in Punk Hazard, which when we saw Kaido's backstory, remember he got experimented on a whole bunch? He got experimented on a whole bunch because they made a carbon copy of his fruit. So they did the thing. Well, they revealed that like Vegapunk was able to finally successfully like create a human fruit, which was the like the fish fruit that Momonosuke ate. So technically, they're carbon copies.
And the only reason Vegapunk had told the government it was a failure, but the reason it wasn't a failure. The only reason it was considered a failure on his standards because the color was wrong, so it was deemed a failure. Yes. But so at this point,
Luffy and Momonosuke are on the way back up.
Yes, Momonosuke saves Luffy, and Luffy tells Momonosuke, "You stop being you're not the little boy anymore. Damn it, you're a dragon. Fly." And now at this point, on the way up, we cut back to the other fights now. So now let's talk about Sanji.
Okay.
Oh, man, that fight was brilliant. I'm not even gonna. I love that fight. Was great because he was using the raid suit. I believe awakened the hidden powers he had of being a scientific experiment.
Yep, his cyborg body. Yeah.
Finally awakened, and his battle against Queen was something amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really interesting to see because it was more of a Sanji internal fight though. I'd say 50-50 because it was him being like, I don't want to be heartless. I do not want to be like, he even says where it's like, Luffy, who do you need? Do you need me as I am, someone that can't even like raise their hand against a woman, or do you need a bloodthirsty robot that doesn't care and can attack the enemies when needed? And he finally found it in himself where it's like, okay, I'm not what my father made me. I'm who I want to be, and that's gonna be Sanji, the cook of the Straw Hats. And then he has some fire moment where he unlocks a new form because he's like, wait a second, I'm more resistant to heat. Make my flame blue, baby. We're Ifrit Jambe now.
Yeah, it was. So Sanji ends up beating Queen. It was great.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's talk about my second.
Yeah. Hey man,
Zoro versus King.
The words cannot be said enough. That fight. Some people like just love it way more than the fight with Kaido, and like it's up there, dude. The animation was beautiful. Zoro finally realizing as he's like I don't even remember the name. Enma is sucking out all of his armament hockey, and it's like, oh, I understand what's happening. It's that I'm not meeting your expectations, Enma.
Mhm.
Like, if you're gonna take it all, just take it all. And he, dude, and then
Right there, he combines it with Conqueror's Haki
Yep.
to defeat Enma, and he became the King of Death,
yeah, the King of Hell. Yeah,
the King of Hell, and was able to distinguish King's weaknesses, and that final blow was
Yeah,
amazing.
and then we also get revealed that there is another race which we did not know about, which plays a bigger part down the line. We're not talking about that right now, but he's a Lunarian, and you're like, okay, so Lunarians are very special because they have like special properties of like when they have flames on their flames on the wings means that they're like super invulnerable, and when the flames out, they're super deadly attacking, but they also lose all their defense. And
Yes.
Zoro figures that out with his like his fighting intelligence, and he's like, all right, don't worry about this, just smoked. And like, so then we go to the final fight. And
Is that every other? Did we cover every fight?
Okay, so the only kind of fight that we forgot is Jack gets beat by. Okay, so Jack gets beat by Inu. What's his name? Dogstorm. I don't remember.
Yeah. Dogstorm
and then Nekomamushi beats Perospero.
Yes.
And those fights. So those fights result really cool.
What they meant was important. Like,
yes.
To the characters was good character growth and very good to see.
Yeah, and the way they actually beat him was pretty solid because it was like, well, actually, I think we got ahead of ourselves because doesn't that happen?
That's like
because of Luffy getting
Luffy like gaining all this power now in this final like fight between him and Kaido. Cleared all the clouds for the final time. To the point where now they're able to use their Shulong form.
Yep.
And fight that way.
Yeah. And then I think so. I'm pretty sure that's everything. And then we're just left with the final fight, which is round 2. Luffy says, "That's it."
Round 6.
Realistically, it's like round 4. You know.
Because now Luffy says, "This is going to be the final Gear 4 I use."
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, CP0.
Correct. We need to, yeah.
CP0 is on the island. And now they're told, hey, this is weird. I don't know how he's still alive. Go kill Luffy. Yeah. I don't care what happens to Robin anymore. I don't care about this, that, or the other. I don't care if Kaido remains in power. Go kill Luffy.
So,
and he gets into the way. Oh!
Wait, before that, I was gonna say before that, yeah, you
Big Mom.
Yeah, I was gonna say before we did that, I almost forgot too. So before Big Mom though, so before we go into that, Usopp kind of plays like a little minor role of at this point. So after Kaido beats Luffy on top of the thing, he goes down and then he basically re-kills Kiyomon. You're like, oh my god, Kiyomon's dead. He cut him in half, and it's like, oh wait, no, this is One Piece. For some reason, Law's
ability.
Kiyomon was actually never connected the right way, so he was able to split his body. So Usopp saves him. As he's saving them, though, CP0 shows up, if you remember that. And then that's when Kiku's brother, I completely forgot his name, though.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. Does a sacrifice where he's like, all right, I'm gonna handle 2 CP0, and I'll get out of here. I'll handle these 2. He manages to takes a grave hit, and he takes one of them with him. Now, that's when the other CP0 member gets the phone call like, hey, no matter what happens, Luffy needs to be defeated. And now we're going back to the other 2 captains in Law and Kid fighting Big Mom. Take it away.
Kid, it's like they hit a point where it's like we don't understand Big Mom. We don't know how to kill him. Yeah. The point where Law says, hey, I have one idea left, and we can't kill her on our own hands, so we're going to send her to hell. And Law uses the biggest room to cut a floor through the earth into magma, and Kid uses his biggest form. What do you call it?
His trump card punk. What is it called? Damned punk, something like that.
Damned punk, and sends Big Mom. And Big Mom, as falling, Zeus is no longer with her. Everyone else is defeated that can help her, and she goes, "Don't think you guys can kill me as easily," and ends up falling to magma. And that is the death of Big Mom.
That's what we can assume is the death of her, even though she screamed, "Don't think this is the end of me." It was really cool because we saw the awakened forms of Kid and of Law. You know what we completely skipped over? Before this fight happened, actually, Killer...
Awakening Conquers?
That's down in Elbath, brother. You're not there yet. So, what actually happens is Killer fights Hawkins. Because at this point, Hawkins has a straw hat of Kid. And then they do the thing that I was like, when I was watching it and reading it, I was like, bro, like, the easiest answer is to cut his arm off because Kid doesn't have an arm. And then it takes like 2 episodes to be like, I beat you because I cut your arm off and Kid doesn't have an arm. And it's like, wow, like, we needed 2 episodes of this. Which then, skip forward, Kid and Law beat Big Mom. As freaking Big Mom's trying to go down, she's like screaming, like she's trying to scream to terrify more people to get stronger, to get more souls. But then Law hits him with the I don't even know what he just puts a room, and I don't remember what the ability's called, but he's like room. He might have said like Corazon or silence. And then he's like, yes. I used to know a guy that could like make this.
Corazon would smile at this.
Yeah, Corazon would smile at this. So Big Mom's going down, not being able to make a noise or anything. So you're just hearing her thoughts of her. Kind of like pleading, saying, Roger, why did you do this? Why did you start the Age of Pirates? What did you see in the One Piece? Why did you even tell people about it? Like this is all your fault that I'm getting beat. Like, and you didn't have to deal with it because you were going to die, but you left all this hardships for us, the ones that were continuous living. And that is, as far as we know, the end of Big Mom and her story.
Yes.
And
so
then,
now,
go.
So now we have hit the point where the CP0 agent is on his way up and gets in the way of the final Gear 4 punch and Kaido's punch. And Luffy and Kaido sees like a vision of when he was able to kill Odin, because Odin only got defeated because the old witch pretended to be Momonosuke as a kid. And he lowered his guard, and that got Odin beat. This very similarly happened to Luffy, where Luffy lowered his guard and ran out of juice of Gear 4, didn't have Haki anymore, and got beat, and died again.
Yeah.
And now, at this point, this death surprised me. I didn't expect Luffy to lose again. Completely surprised. Now, Kaido's pissed. Kaido at this point, we have to remember, wants to die a fitting death. And now he's mad because the fight he was finally enjoying after all this time, he can't no more because this CP0 agent got in the way and kills him. And he goes back into the castle to the point where he goes back into the castle and starts throwing mayhem, saying, Straw Hat Luffy is dead, and starts to try to attack. And now Momonosuke starts crying, and Nami, shout out Nami, says, hey, my captain wouldn't be defeated so easily.
Yeah, no.
Goosebumps already. You hear then they get the cut to the ocean, that the Navy is starting to get close. With the reveal of the new admiral, and now we're saying, wow, okay, what's gonna happen? And then it's a bigger cut to above, and you see the elephant of Zoe saying, hey, Momonosuke, Luffy's alive. I haven't heard these drums in such a long time. And then the drums start going. The Joy Boy is here. I hear the drums of rebellion, and we're like, and it's like, what's gonna happen? And then it cuts to Luffy, and then the heart starts to pump again, bum, bum. But it's not a regular heartbeat. It's up paced, and you hear like the battle song, but it's a hype beat. And it's like, and then it starts to turn white, and then you just hear it cuts down to Kaido, and Kaido's like, what's this like? presence I'm feeling. What is this? And then you just hear Luffy scream, Kaido! And then the final fight begins.
Yeah. There's not a lot to say about it, but like it's really crazy because of all those moments of like you said, Zoe going up and being like, oh, Joy, like Joy Boy is back. So at this point, a lot of people are like, oh my god, like they're thinking, they don't know if it's actually Luffy coming back. So a lot of people thought that Joy Boy was gonna be like its own thing, like kind of like a split personality, but it didn't turn out to be that way. But it's just the hypeness of Zoe being like, Momonosuke, like I'm hearing a song that I haven't heard in 800 years. He's finally here, my boy, Joy Boy. And as he's saying that, Luffy's hair starts going all like sappy and white, and he starts turning into a cloud. And as Kaido's like already like, oh, I've won and everything, Luffy's out there jumping and dancing, and just he's like, what is
great time.
Yeah,
and then they started talking. They're like, hey, Luffy ate what fruit? I used to look in the old dictionary that gum fruit was never a real fruit. And it's like he ate the Nika. Like he was the ancient god. Luffy's like fruit is a god's fruit, which could be related to what the One Piece actually is. And then they start to fight, and eventually Luffy's like power is too much, and Kaido gets defeated.
Yeah.
Long story short, and Kaido, without saying words, falls into magma. Yeah. Here, I have a small theory here. Big Mom is dead. I don't know if Kaido's dead. Because if I remember correctly, the way both of them like fell into the magma, it was a clear thing that Big Mom died, but like Kaido's body didn't disintegrate. It was almost like Odin that survived in magma for an hour type thing. Okay. But we'll see. He probably, like, I have a 75, like a 25, like a 10% chance he is still alive.
I don't think so. So real quick. So with Kaido being defeated, obviously there was like a lot of controversy, obviously, with the fight, like because some people just real talk, it's not controversy. It's people who haven't watched One Piece are like, man, Gear 5th is fucking whack because it's too cartoony, and it's like, dude, if you've been watching One Piece, Luffy has always fought with some comedy, from Crocodile being Water Luffy, from Enel going dumb like instinct mode where he's just trying to dodge him. With Lucci, it's Gear 3, and then he turns into a kid and still tries to punch him. He has always fought with comedy, so that has nothing to do with the controversy of Gear 5th. But then, as we're going to the end of Wano, Momonosuke comes out and his adult form we finally get to see, and he's like, I am the son of Odin, and we can never be enslaved again because Kaido has been defeated because of us. And obviously he doesn't mention Luffy because Luffy, before he even goes to the speech, he's like, don't say my name, I was not involved in this. I do not want to be seen as a hero. I am a pirate.
And it's so beautiful. And then, so they have this big party just to move along because we've been going on for a while here. The Navy comes to attack and says, hey, we don't want to fight you guys. You guys had a long battle. We just want Luffy's head. Yeah. And the samurai go, we're not going to give you Luffy's head. So the samurai, along with Momonosuke and Yamato, and at this point, Yamato said, I'm going to sail with Luffy. So knowing that, Momonosuke said, hey, Yamato, don't get involved. I don't want to fight you. Don't help. You cannot help. I will not allow you to help. And they fight, and then what's the new admiral's name? Not Rengoku.
Is it Ryogoku?
Ryogoku senses a haki, and it's like, yo, what power is? And like everyone like stops in their tracks, and like through presence alone, Shanks is like, yo, get up out of here. Yeah. And it's revealed that, and then we start to think, yo, is it finally gonna happen? Is Shanks finally gonna go see Luffy? Is Yasa finally gonna go see Usopp? Yasop is like, I'm not ready. We can't do this. And Shanks is like, I would love to go see Luffy. But it's revealed that Bartolomeo went to an island that was protected by Shanks's crew and burned down the flag. Fortunate that we can have nice things. And for that, they make the Navy leave, and they leave as well. But Zoro knew someone was there. Luffy knew someone was there. Momonosuke knew someone was there. And Yamato knew someone was there.
Well, so did Sanji and Jinbei, because they were there too.
Yeah, Sanji and Jinbei.
And then we're gonna go to my favorite part real quick, if we can. Oh, so let me real quick just because we did like skip over it. Obviously they throw a huge party, which is really freaking cool because Kid and Law, they're both they're kind of like getting ready to just depart and ship out of there, which is when Apu comes out again. And he's like, yo, new bounties, baby.
Actually, before we get there, we need to talk about the fact that Law and Robin,
yep,
or the old man from episode 101, like episode 2 or 3 of Wano, was Odin's dad.
Yeah.
And he showed Robin the Ronaglyph, and the fact that all the way from Alabasta was teased that in Wano does exist the ancient weapon. So all that's happened, and Abu, which I was really hoping he was gonna die as well, did not. What said, here are the new bounties. Of course, Zoro higher than Sanji, that was the joke in itself. Chopper went up by 900. You look at the new Kid and Law, each at 1.5 billion.
No. 3 billion.
3 billion, yes, 3 billion.
It's average.
Yes, 3 billion, 3 billion. And then it's named that Luffy is the 4th emperor.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting back at this point. I need to say, I don't care if this is after Wano or like actually counts for this. I'm sitting back. I'm like, 2 emperors went down. I wonder who the last emperor could be. And they go, Shanks, red hair pirates. Yeah. They go, Blackbeard Teach, Mugiwara Luffy, and then Buggy.
That's my goal, baby.
And I think it's revealed in Egghead why he became emperor. But the fact, through nothing, being able to do nothing other than luck, becomes a Yonko of the Sea is mind-boggling.
He's the GOAT. He runs cross guilds. We can mention that because that was in the end of Wano, the poster.
No, because even I won't go into, but even that is like based on luck.
Hey man, he's a emperor.
At this point, he might as well become the king of the pirates based on luck.
Hey, that's my theory, baby. So Wano does end with the scene where Luffy finally shares his dream with the rest of the Straw Hats.
The One Piece will not be the end of One Piece.
Yep, good to know for everybody. And then I think
5 years, maybe.
And I think that's the end of Wano.
No, so now, before that, we realized, yes, Luffy does have a dream that goes beyond King of the Pirates. And Yamato did not go with Luffy. Wano on its own cannot handle any outside like battles yet, until Momonosuke learns how to fight at least. So now, also Wano does fall under the protection of the Straw Hats. But now before we end off, we're gonna finish off with the theory: who the final Straw Hat is gonna be. I kind of had a little bit of hope for Marco, but Marco was like, "Yo, I'm too old for this. Shanks, I'm not joining you. Luffy, I'm not joining you. I don't want to deal with any big name pirates no more. I'm retired."
Okay.
So who's your vote?
Yamato.
Because now Luffy told Yamato, stay in Wano. Whenever this is ready, we'll come get you.
Yep.
But she is not the only person Luffy has told this to. So in your mind, who will be the final straw?
I think it's gonna be Yamato.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think at this point I've like seen a lot of like it's 50-50 split between Vivi and Yamato.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe both end up being a straw hat. But that I don't know if they're gonna go with exactly 10 what Luffy has said at the beginning of the journey, but both have very good like ideas considering where they both are.
Yeah.
But yes, that is the story of Wano. Great saga. And now we'll see you on about a year to talk about Egghead. See you guys next time.
Peace.